This is Fox 23 News in Focus.
Good morning, I'm Walt McClure. Most of us don't give much thought about our hair unless it starts to turn gray or it starts to fall out. For gray hair, you can add color to it to get it back where it was before, but if you lose it, you could be out of luck. That is, unless you've been in contact with this week's guest on Fox 23 in Focus. William Blatter is an internationally known speaker on hair loss, and he's president and CEO of the Hair Loss Control Clinic. You're based in Latham, but you're all over the world. So welcome, and thanks for being here with us this morning.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here.
Tell me about your own story. I mean, how does one get into sort of this business?
Well, it was interesting. I actually got into this business because a friend of mine owned a company, and he had a partner, and he gave me the products. And I regrew all the hair that I'd lost for 5 years. So I was so impressed with it, and the company didn't have a lot of marketing. I ended up buying the other half of the company and then buying the full company. And we've grown from one little clinic to now we have 150 affiliated clinics in 30 countries around the world.
So you had your own hair loss issue. Tell me about that. I mean, how did you? Because to look at you, I mean, as I sit here, look, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, I was very thin in the front, and I actually had almost a bald spot in the back. And I started using the products, and I was amazed, how quickly my hair grew back and how full it grew back. And it just really motivated me because I knew that it really started to bother me. I was single at the time, and my hair would bother me. And all of a sudden, with my hair coming back, there was new confidence, and it really excited me to help other people because I had other friends that had the same problem, and it really bothered them as well.
Now, prior to this, had you done anything else? Had you tried anything else, or were you basically sort of, well, I've lost it, so be it?
Yeah, I hadn't really tried anything because I didn't really know that there was anything that was out there that worked, and this was one of the first things. And again, that was a long time ago, but the technology has changed tremendously. Even from when I regrew my hair till today, there's been a phenomenal change in technology, particularly with the introduction of lasers and some of those things. It's been amazing.
Now, how long has it been how long ago was this when you first started?
This was back in 2000.
Okay.
So the business has actually been around for 25 years. It was started by a doctor. We actually have 4 doctors as part of our practice now here. And it's been around for a long time. They had good products, but it's kind of really grown from a clinic to where we actually franchise this, and we train doctors from around the world. So literally the woman who wrote the book on hair transplants in Taiwan came here for us to train them how to do hair loss treatment. People like Kim Robson, who's one of the top famous people. She used to do Lady Diana's hair, does Susie Ormond's hair. He actually takes our products and our laser and private labels them in Hong Kong. So we kind of got to the point where we were doing it so well, people started to come to us. As a matter of fact, our first affiliate clinic was from England. They saw our website and were impressed and started working with us.
So tell me a little bit, when you say product, I mean, is it shampoos, or is it something that you're using that's able to, I know you talked about lasers as well, right, that then sort of helps this grow?
Well, what happens out there is a lot of people see, oh, buy this one product, order before midnight tonight type thing. The reality is that you can regrow hair for almost everybody, 90+%. As a matter of fact, the latest studies on low-level laser therapy showed that 100% of the people in the study regrew hair, 97% of the people grew 20% or more hair, and 77% of the people in the study grew 50% or more hair. So when you use the laser, it helps regrow hair, but it doesn't mean all those people regrew all the hair they wanted to. So it's usually a combination of products. So we use products that get rid of the sebum. That's the buildup on the top of your head. And by using that...
I was going to say, is the thought of that, I mean, the sebum, is the thought that that's sort of blocking production?
Well, some people think that. It's not really. What happens is your sebaceous glands produce sebum, and when you try to treat it, so if you treat it with something like minoxidil, which is over-the-counter, FDA proven to regrow hair, but we take that minoxidil and we enhance it 8 different ways. But you got to get it in there. So your hair grows from the dermal papilla under the hair. If you can't get the minoxidil or any of the growth topicals, the DHT blockers in there, you can't do it. So the first thing, you got to take the sebum, get rid of the sebum, then you can penetrate. Once you penetrate, then it works.
So it's kind of like when you're painting a wall. You want to take off the old, or get the surface off, or if you're taking off wallpaper, you take that off in order to put the new stuff on.
Right. Do you want to grow your grass on concrete or soil that's loose? I mean, it's basically the same thing. If you can't get it in, it doesn't work. And that's why a lot of people have problems with some things that can work well, but if they're not done right. And that's really what we focus in, is finding out what the individual's needs are and then putting the program together, because there's a lot of different things that can go into it, putting the program together that works for that individual.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break now, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk more with William Blatter about what you guys are doing at the Hair Loss Control Clinic and some of these other options that are helping people grow their hair back. So stay with us. Welcome back to Fox 23 in Focus. Our subject this week is hair loss and hair regrowth, and we're joined by William Blatter, who's the president and CEO of the Hair Loss Control Clinic based in Latham, to talk about that. So before we took a break, we were kind of getting into kind of how this works. So you said there are products that you use. You said first you kind of are stripping away that the sebum, the sort of the base layer to make it for a hospitable atmosphere, I guess.
Right.
So what happens after that?
Well, basically what you want to do is, and as I was saying before, it's a combination, or what we call multi-therapeutic approach. If you put the best things together, you get the best odds of the best results. So you penetrate, you use either an all-natural DHT blockers, or you use enhanced version of minoxidil to penetrate in to help you regrow. You take a tablet that blocks DHT. DHT is a major cause of hair loss. It's what.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, because I hear you say DHT, and for those of us like me who don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's dihydrotestosterone, and that's basically the thing that creates and blocks it. Your hair grows, and you have capillaries under here, and DHT binds to the androgen receptors here and stops the nutrients and energy from going in. And over time, your hair slowly dies. And basically, these products stop that binding ability, and your hair can go back into its normal growth cycle. And that's basically what all the things are doing. The tablets that block DHT internally, the nutrition, giving the proper nutrition for your hair, the marine concentrate, and those are all in one tablet. They all help your hair go into the natural growth cycle. Same thing with laser. The laser actually acts what's called photobiostimulation, which is where your body actually has a reaction to the sun. Similar to people hear about your skin creates vitamin D. With photobiostimulation, the laser actually produces protein, hair growth, or ATP, which is part of the what creates energy in every cell in the body, in the mitochondria. It actually does protein synthesis, and it actually increases blood flow with the laser 54%. So it really, again, all those things help your hair get into its normal growth cycle. So small, thin hair can grow full and thick again, and hairs that haven't been growing can regrow. People don't know that just because you're not producing a hair, that hair could be dormant for 10 years and then come back.
Oh, interesting. Now, so you say that basically there's sort of there's kind of a multi-layer option.
Right.
Are you talking about saying you're using taking the tablet or doing with some sort of a liquid kind of a thing, and then do laser as well, or are these all sort of working separately from each other?
No, they're working together. So a typical person, for example, before they shower, they'd put the scalp therapy on their head, get rid of the sebum. They'd shampoo like they do, but a special shampoo that blocks DHT with it. They would take a tablet in the morning and a tablet at night. And in the evening, they would put something on their head, a topical, either an all-natural topical, or they would use an enhanced version of minoxidil. Or the combination of those things together with lasers. So they would either use a handheld laser at home, or a lot of people choose to come into a laser that's in the clinic. And that laser, they just sit under for 30 minutes, they watch TV, they read a book. It's actually, a lot of people like it. It's kind of like their downtime during the day or in the evening. And it's real simple. It's a cool laser, so there's no heat. Most people think of lasers with heat. Right. It's a cool laser, no heat at all.
No, and it's interesting you talk about lasers because, we hear a lot about lasers being used for hair removal, but it also obviously works in reverse.
Yeah, and the hair removal lasers are hot lasers that actually burn it. This is a cool laser. They actually came out of bone and tissue regrowth. They've been studying it. We actually brought the first laser into the US 20 years ago from Italy. Then we brought one in from Sweden, and then eventually started producing our own, because with all the clinics that we work in, we saw what worked, and we weren't happy with what was being manufactured, so we actually started manufacturing them. But it's a cool laser, so people put their hand out. You don't even really feel it, so it's kind of interesting.